That's my favorite banjo partner. That's my favorite banjo partner. That's my favorite cowboy hat partner. I'm going to take my hat off just in case there's some ladies around. I'm a gentleman. Howdy. Peace be with you. Always. Just in case there's ladies around. So how you doing? Hope you're doing fine. Hope you're doing well. Well, are you doing fine? I hope so. How about a twofer? How about a banjo-related twofer? So this is week 1 of the banjo-related twofer. We're actually going to do a banjolin and a banjel. People don't really know what's a banjolin. I got a lot of banjolins. This one's a banjolin. I think we talked about that one together, didn't we? Maybe. This one is the one that we're going to talk about today because it's the one I just got. That's what the episode's about. And we did this one. This is the Reliance XX, which is a banjolin made in Great Britain. But I actually did it as a banjel. The banjel is like a little banjo ukulele, 4 strings. The banjolin has the 8 strings like a mandolin. Like this. Now I'm going to tell you the story about this particular instrument. See this instrument? You see it? See what it says on the logo? Leo Master. Yes, Master. Yes, Master. This has nothing to do with I Dream of Jeannie. This is a dream of flea market. Your old boy Bobby G in the flea market this morning, like this. Walking around, man, no guitars. And I get to the end, and my boy Vegan John saw a bunch of guitars in front of him. Oh, man, Vegan John's got all kinds of guitars. We call him Vegan John because his name is John. He's a vegan. He don't eat meat. So he's got all kinds of guitars in front of him. And this banjolin says Leo Master on it. Yeah, man. I like that guitar. You know what I mean? I like that banjo. I mean, he had a 12 string, which was kind of messed up, and he had an old 929 there too that I just wanted for parts. You know what I mean? $10 on the 929, $20 on the 12 string. I was like $40 on that banjolin thing. You know what I mean? You know, so I get to work. First I say $80 for all 3. He's like $100. I was like $30 for the 2, meaning the 12 string. And he's like, all right. And I was like, what about $82? He's like, no, just $30 on that too. And then I saw I lost his interest. Man, I kind of want that banjolin. I was like, I looked at all the money in my pocket. I took it out. Came out to $89 exactly. $89 for all 3. Because I felt I think I paid $59 for it. And he's like, all right. I think it's worth a lot more, but it's yours. I was happy, man. So, who's Leo Master? It's not Leo Sayer. I believe his name was Aaron Birdweiser, something like that. Aaron Birdweiser, something like that. He's a Ukrainian immigrant. Shows up in Baltimore, 1904. Aaron Birdweiser, right? And he starts importing different instruments from Europe. You know, starting making a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and he's going back and forth to Europe. The Aaron Birdweiser Musical Distributor Corporation starts getting bigger and bigger. And he starts having Regal make some instruments for him, right? Yeah, big time, right? Oscar Schmidt, United started making stuff for him. He's big, getting real big. You know, the Depression hits, he's gone. Wiped out. Poor Aaron Birdweiser. But his big, Leo Master, he supposedly was a very, talented man, Renaissance man. He spoke, Castilian. He spoke something else. So Leo Master has something to do with Lion Master. He was a little bit, you know what I'm saying. But he was totally wiped out during the Depression. After 1929, company folded. Banjos are very, very popular. You know what I mean? In the collector circles recently over the past 10 years. Just, you know what I mean? Recently people have been piecing together information about this particular line of banjos. They're very sought after, especially they had a Gibson copy one. It's extremely sought after. This is a Banjolin, not very sought after, but it's pretty much complete. Has a little damage. The side here needs a little bit of work. I'm gonna flip you around. I'll show it to you. We're gonna work on it together. Because that's what we do. We're still a family. Right? Peace be with you. I'll see you in 2 seconds. 1, 2. There's a sight to behold, an original gig bag from the 20s, man. You see, this has some same kind of like cheapy cheeseburger shit that we have to this very date, man. Isn't that cool, man? Oh, I exposed myself like that. Can't really do this one hand. I don't want to damage this instrument, so I gotta put you on pause, man. And there it is, folks. All uncovered for you only. For your eyes only. I mean, at first glance, this looks like collector's condition case. You know what I mean? The cap, it's got the original strings. It's got the original bridge, which are hard to find. The new ones aren't the same. They're a little bit different. It's got a real, you know what I mean, beautiful, crisp screen print and logo. The tuners look like they're brand new. You know what I'm saying? Those tuners are 100 years old right there. You know what I mean? Micro checking on the body. You know what I mean? You see the original screw here. Looks pretty good, man. You know what I'm saying? Couple little scratches. That's when Uncle Charlie got up at the picnic and he'd been drinking Jack Daniels, and you know, motherfucker scratched it, right? So the bad news, that's pretty bad, man. Looks like the oxidization has actually broken through that little tiny piece of chrome on there. Short of being re-chromed, you know what I mean? It doesn't look like this would be much help to be had. This is missing right here. You see that? Should be one of these in there. You know what I'm saying? Should have one of them. It's missing. I think I have one of them in the drawer. I believe I have one of them for y'all. So what else, man? What else can we complain about? Yes, look at that. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Missing. And you see, it's not just missing, but I mean, it's broken. The wood is broken. It's an eyelet, folks. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? From 100 years ago, where the fuck am I going to find this piece? I'm sort of freaking out, you know. Everything is lost. I can't make that piece. I don't have a 3D printer, man. I'm not that cool, man. Thinking like finishing washers, gluing it on there. I was just like crying the blues, man. So this is called an eyelet. Eyelet, you know. I knew it, you know, it was something. As soon as I figured out the word, man, I was looking at it, eyelet, man, eyelet. I think it's got to be standard. So I was like, let me get an assortment of eyelets on Amazon. I just got a $50 gift card from Amazon. And for $10, found this, man. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, you get $25, you know what I mean, free shipping, so you have to get $25 worth of shit. So I bought like $15 worth of other shit. And I was like, yes, ready to go, man. Ready to go. Things are good, man. It's gotta have to be in here. They're all the standard eyelets. It's gotta be a standard eyelet. This is every one that is properly made, you know what I mean? From little bitties. And these little bitties right here, especially these ones, they actually use ones very similar to this as bushings for like tuner bushings for like antique guitars from the 20s, the 30s, 40s, 50s. You know what I'm saying? Even back maybe in the 1800s, they used ones very similar. And I was like, I know what I'm saying? I've paid a lot of money for like little, you know, 6-packs of this shit. And I was like, this is a good thing, you know what I mean, to have. You know, you never know when you're going to need an eyelet. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be in here. So I started looking. I was like, this one, right? It's a big guy. It might be a little too big. You know what I mean? Fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Let's put him back. We don't want to misshape our stuff. I was like, this guy, right? Gotta be him, you know what I mean? I started pointing him around the room, you know what I mean? Like, this is my friend, he's the greatest one, it's gotta be a great time. And it might be like, you know what I mean, similar size, maybe even same size, the outer diameter, but the inner diameter is not correct, man. It's too big, man, does not even fit inside the little hueco, man. That's fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? There's no way other than like, you know, make a bigger hole. And then I was like, that's to be so conspicuous, man. Fuck that. I don't want to be conspicuous, man. I don't want anyone to know. Then I realized looking at the rest of them, I was like, I don't have this piece. I mean, I bought this $10 assortment and $15 of other shit I didn't even want. Spent $25 of my $50 gift card for nothing, man. Bullshit, man. Plus, I had to pay fucking tax. Uncle Sam was a goddamn handout. You know what I'm saying? I used to get handouts from him. Now he wants them from me. Fuck, man. So I was depressed as fuck, you know what I mean? I was like, it must be metric. Or maybe if I get a metric, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, what do I do? You know what I mean? It has to be the same outside diameter. You order the outside diameter metric one, you know what I mean? And I was like, this time I'm not going to, waste any money. I'm going to get on AliExpress. I'm sure it's cheap. And sure enough, for like a total of $5. You know what I mean? Got it. You know what I mean? There's a 10 millimeter one, the exact same size as on the outer diameter. About 15 millimeters. Like, that's fucking top notch, people. Top notch. That's incredible. Let me open this thing here. I want to show you something. So you understand it. You know what I mean? And there it was. I started getting a similar feeling. I was like, what the fuck? And this thing was on a slow boat from China, people. Now you know this thing took like 3 months to get this fucking guitar, banjo, whatever the fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? Many, many months waiting for this fucking thing. And it didn't even fit, man. Found another $5 in the toilet, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, I was thinking to myself, you can resell all this stuff, you know what I mean? Resell them to idiots like yourself. You know what I mean? I was downhearted, you know what I mean? So I read, like, well, this is the 10 millimeters, right? And then I measured the inside diameter of this. And I was like, okay, that's 8 millimeters inside of there. So maybe 8 millimeters would be good. But the 8 millimeters, they have an outside diameter of 12 millimeters. This is 15. That was like 2 off. I was like, this is too off. It's too conspicuous. It was real small. It was like, you know what I mean? 12 millimeters is the difference of 3 millimeters. So it was real conspicuous. So I was really bummed out. So I started looking at eyelets on the internet day and night and day. I almost got fired from my real job because I was like, my boss comes by, like, what are you doing? I said, he says like eyelets on my computer. Like, what are you, some kind of weirdo? Put that away. And I was like, all right, sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. What's your favorite donut, sir? You know what I mean? Anyway, so after that shit happened, I calmed down a little bit. Later on that week, I found one on Amazon of all places. 8 millimeter inside diameter, 14 millimeter outside diameter. I mean, 14 and 15, pretty close. You know what I mean? My fingers like this, and I was like, oh, it was like fucking $10 for 150 of them. Like, what the fuck am I gonna need all those goddamn eyelets? I've already spent, like, you know what I mean, a lot of money. You know, there's $15 there, plus I blew another $15 just to get that. I still had, like, I guess $20 left on that gift card after tax and shit. I'm gonna have to pay money in my own fucking pocket now. Because, of course, I gotta get, I'm not gonna pay for shipping. I gotta get $25 worth of shit because I don't have Prime. You know what I'm saying? I got them anyway, man. I got another $25 worth of shit. At least $5 worth of that shit was another set of mandolin strings, just in case of pop one of these from the 20s, man. Hey, man, I was thinking about shit, man. And so they came in, the 14 millimeter outside diameter, right? And 8 millimeter inside diameter. And I was like, oh, they kind of look. I knew as soon as I opened the package that I've had a fucking winner in my hand, man. I knew it. And these are like special ones. These aren't the regular ones. These are 14 millimeter outside diameter. Regular 8 millimeter ones are 12 millimeter. These ones just happen to be on there. Look at that. Goddamn golden, man. Golden. You know what I mean? So I'm going to pry this guy out, man. And what we're going to do is we're going to the laboratory, right? And we're going to, figure out how we're going to get this guy back together. You know what I mean? Because Johnny Trombone, he's going to come by here, you know what I mean, a little bit later. And, he's got some saws that we can fucking, hey, you got a camera? Turn the fucking camera off, you motherfucker. Welcome back to the laboratory. It's all about accent, class, dignity. So what do we got here? You know what I'm saying? It's pretty incredibly preserved. I mean, that's the only fucked up part. I wish he would have just sat down and drank his beer there. There's no need to touch my instrument. Told him not to be fingered on my instrument ever again. Weirdo. Kind of a man who does that to another man's instrument. So let's unscrew this, man. Let's unscrew it because it looks like we can just deal with that as opposed to dealing with the little stringing part, which seems to be like perfect action. You know, I mean, perfect means and ways. I don't want to mess with it. It looks like you can see the manufacturer's line of intonation on the original head, which is still like incredibly in tune. You know what I'm saying? It was like a low G. Let's get that back off. Just a slot head. Separated by hall and mirror of time. Here we are, friends. Here we will be. It's a shame this thing is fucked up because this thing is in incredible condition. It really is. I mean, there's barely any wear in this fucking thing. Just like this unfortunate damage, man, which goes all the way through. Goes all the way through. So we're gonna deal with this guy in a second. But let's take a look at this guy. Let's see here. See that right there? It's missing. It's missing a piece. So let's put this guy away and let's bring the pieces out, shall we? Doo-doo-doo-doo. Now we're very lucky to sell this piece because the modern equivalent is a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's slightly different. See how the hole's like kind of down a little bit, and this hole like right in the middle. I mean, it's not too much difference, but I mean, it's a difference enough. So we're lucky to have that piece. Now, let's talk about the banjo hooks. These antique hooks are sort of like half flat, half round. They have, you know, I mean, the flat ones and the modern flat ones are like real flat, the whole thing. So what you need for these are definitely the round ones. So I have a round one here. We just put it right through there. We're going to take this piece right here and just go up the bottom of it. It's pretty much the same as the old-fashioned one. Right? And I'll show you when that's correctly fashioned. All the rest are intact. They're on the instrument. We're in business. So see when we've replaced that. We got that done with. Here it is, man. Looks great, right? And the modern hooks are a little bit longer than the old ones, but the bottom thing looks exact. Nobody can really tell anything. That's great. It should be covered up with the back piece anyway. If you could really take a Dremel that and like cut that little end piece off if you wanted to really bother you. Use a little wrench, tighten it. You know what I'm saying? Tighten up this piece right here, man. Exciting times, people. So this is good for now. You know what I mean? Now let's start working on that case. You know what I mean? Get that eyelet situation under control, man. All right? See you in a second. All right. So let's look at this, man. Well, the first thing we want to do, we want to cut off a little piece of this that's about that size, that deficit in there. See that deficit? We're just going to glue that in there with wood glue. This is all loose at the bottom. There's like a piece of it missing at the bottom, which we'll just put some Bondo on the back of it. But let's put some wood on the front of it. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of woody looking. Hey, Woody. Hey, Woodrow. So let's glue a little piece of this strong ass fucking popsicle stick in there. There's no tension going to be on this, but this is just all for cosmetics. Right? So we got a little chip of wood, you know what I mean, clamped in there with a little tarp clamp. Let that sit for a couple hours. Take off the wax paper, hope it didn't stick, and we'll examine it then. So now we got it clamped. Everything went well. So now we got this little tiny piece of veneer. We're going to put actually behind this one, and we're going to trace it out. Let's see how this just sort of fills that in. All right, and then we're just going to sort of, you know what I mean, cut it out so it fits this little area right here. And we're going to glue it on there. You know what I'm saying? And then what we're going to do is we're going to put Bondo from behind. Right? That's the long-term plan. Let's just work on the short-term right now. So let's get this piece cut out. Right? I'll see you once the pattern's traced on it. There's the outline. Right? So let's cut it out. Nice pair of shears. Right? So we cut out the little tiny piece that we needed. Clamped it on a couple hours ago. And there it is. totally even Steven on this side. But on the other side, I mean, there's still some kind of fucked up deficits going on in there. You see that? And it's kind of cracked here too in the bottom. Like cracked in a little bit. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to pump some glue back there tonight. And take the little douche ball and get some glue in here. And tomorrow we'll go out there and Bondo the back of it. Kind of rebuild this little top just a tiny smidge. You know what I mean? But we have total, like, you know what I mean, pretty much wood. It's all level. Feels good. You know what I mean? It feels nice and solid. You know what I'm saying? So let's put some glue behind there. Put some glue here. You know what I'm saying? That's the cracked bits. Let that sit overnight and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so it's the next day. Actually, there's all kinds of little fissures and stuff, little cracks that are developing that we put some glue into. We glued everything. Now we have this taped off with some real low-tech old maxing tape. Put a little piece of paper in here. Why do we do that? Because we're going outside. We're going to Bondo it, man. We're going to Bondo it now. You know what I mean? It's pretty much pissed as a Stevie Wonder test. You know what I mean? But we just want to drive the bargain home. You know what I'm saying? Put a little Bondo in there, especially on the back. I showed you that yesterday. So I'll show you outside after we've all Bondoed out, man. Bondo out your time, people, man. See you in a minute. There it is, man. The big picture is a mess. But we got like just a little detailing done, you know. Sometimes on these little jobs you want to wait till the Bondo is like just about to form and smear it in all those little cracks. That's the best time. Right when it's about to harden. It becomes like a paste, you know. And you can kind of like shape it, you know. It's weird, man. You only have like a couple seconds and then it turns to shit. Let it dry out here for a little while. I'll see you back downstairs. Alright. So it's pretty much been drying for like 7 hours, something like that. Let's peel off this tape. Get a couple sanding blocks. Get this into the right shape. I'll see you then. Or learn. Oh, there we go, man. It's actually really nice. Let's shine the light on it. Came out really nice. So let's go over this with nothing more, nothing less than just some furniture markers. You know what I'm saying? What are we to do? We might have to get some acrylics involved, but let's try to just do it with furniture markers. I'll see you in a minute. Couple coats, mahogany. You know what I'm saying? We started off with actually some walnut to get it dark, and then we did mahogany right on top of it. It looks good. A little bit like this. So what we're going to do to keep it like, you know what I mean, from wiping off, take some True Oil, apply like one real thin coat, you know what I'm saying, foam brush, True Oil, just right on the broken part, carefully, nowhere else. See you after that's been accomplished. And that's the True Oil, pretty precisely just on where we have the furniture marker. And then we'll take some steel wool to it after it's dry. We'll let it sit overnight. It's good to use the gun stock True Oil, you know, because if you use shellac will take that furniture marker right off. This is like friendly with the, you know what I mean? Friendly with the process. So let's let it dry, and then we'll sort of blend it in there. I'll see you tomorrow morning after it's all dried out. See you then. All right, so it's the next day. Well into the next day. I woke up this morning. This was still very tacky. It was still very tacky. So I set it out in the sun for a good, I don't know, 8 hours. 9 hours maybe. So let's take a little piece of steel wool. Fine steel wool. Just knock that shine off. It almost looked darker because of the shine. Right? Let's de-shine it. See you in a second. And there we go. See it? Not really, right? Kind of like a nice little sort of touch, man. So, we got those little eyelets, man. Let's glue that eyelet in there. You know what I'm saying? See you in a second once that's accomplished. There it is. Nothing doing, right? Nothing doing. Looks great. Now I'm like right on top of it. But if I'm back here just chilling, nobody will know, man. Nobody sees anything. This little piece of paper, you know what I mean, the back, it's been like a godsend. Keeping shit out of here. You don't want this is like real rough. It's going to hold all this shit captive. You know what I'm saying? I've dumped it out a couple times. It's a real handy dandy thing. So let's dump it out again. Put this guy aside, let it dry. Got a couple of little things to do on the body. One particular thing I want to try to do. So let's put this aside and let's get that guy back up here. I'll see you in that second. Alright, so I have a little piece of wax paper here. See, this is really oxidized. Really oxidized. So first I'm going to do a little piece of steel wool. I know it's not going to take much off. I'll go at it with a Dremel after that, but let's see what the steel wool takes off. I'll see you there. Didn't really take off much at all. Got the Dremel, got this little guy on there. Let's see what that does. Let's see what it does. There you go. I'm not sure if that hurt or helped. Didn't hurt that much. Anyway, let's take this nice old bottle brush, man. Bottle brush is a carpet brush. It's a carpet bottle brush. The best kind, man. Let's try to get all this dust out of here. Let's do it. Be real careful about Leo. He don't want to be disturbed none. See in a moment. Good now. Oh, Leo, you're shining like a new boy. So, look at this. Question mark? Pretty much, this did all the action. And then we took a pipe cleaner and we just got in the nooks and crannies. It's nice, man. Did the same kind of thing on the fretboard. What we're going to do, since it's going to be kept in the case, this is all we need. We're not putting any waxes on it. Just going to put that onto a rag, apply it in the back, a little bit on the fretboard, a little bit on the strings. Away from this, away from that. No, not near that. On the sides here. And when our outside guy is ready to be handled, right, we're going to do him too, right? So I'll see you when we're ready to screw them together again, front and back, right? And they'll be all polished up. That's all we need to do. We don't need no waxes, man. It's been kept in a little gig bag. It's going to be, in that gig bag for eternity. So I don't really need to put anything harsh on it, man. Hey, man, this is very harsh, man. Can't hit it up. Right? You know what I'm saying, man? Too harsh. Anyway, I'll see you once we're all polished out, man. 37% kielbasa on this can. You know what I mean? That's the reading on the spectrometer. Right? We got it hooked up. It's pretty strong. So let's see what it looks like. See you in a minute. There they are. All sheeny and shiny. You know what I mean? Not too sheeny, not too shiny. Now, I noticed something that might, become something that I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Look at this spacing here. Now, it's the original bridge and everything. I don't want to mess with it, And I put a little attention to it. They seem to want to stay there. Without tension, they don't want to stay there. I don't know, like playing it, they're going to stay there. Do you? I don't know. We might be back in here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Other than that, I'm going to screw this guy back together. Right? And I'll see you at the glamour shots. Because I want to do the glamour shots with the original strings. You know what I'm saying, Sonny? And then if I have to, swap out strings or breaks when I'm like tuning it. And like practicing with it. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you which one broke during the performance at the end. So let's put this guy in and I'll see you at the glamour shots. 1, 2. I want you to get a good look at him. You see? 3. There it is. Leo Master. Oh, Master Leo. Master Leo, would you like some hot chocolate? Listen to me, you fucking fool. Don't ever call me Master Leo. You call me Leo Master, motherfucker. Get out of here, you jerk. Kind of rude, right? I can't even find the fucking one that I fixed. Trying to be like, where it is. I can't find it. I don't know where it is. Isn't that incredible? Even this is looking kind of nice in a different light. You know what I mean? In a different light. It's got that weird spacing. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I don't know if I'm going to like it or if it's going to work. I want to do something like that, man. would do something like that? Just silly. Just silly. Anyway, it's a nice one. You know what I mean? He's kept in his case the whole time. You know what I mean? I can't say anything grander than that. It's a case. It's not way off base, man. So let's listen to it, man. I haven't tightened the strings up because I wanted to do the glam shots with the original strings from like the fucking late 20s, man. Oh, man. This is before the crash. Before the crash, things weren't so opulent. This is real opulent. It's what we call opulent, Neil. You're not accustomed to such luxury as W and I are. Seats in your SUV might be leather, but mine and W's are made from yaks from South Africa that are extinct. Don't you mean yacht? Father, I believe it's called a yacht. It's a yacht, I think. Would you get me the dictionary over there? I want to look this up. Bar, get me the dictionary. I have nothing else to say, man. I'm not even funny anymore, right? Beloved countrymen such as George H.W. Bush. How can I make fun of such a person? Well, it's not. It's fiction. It's satire, people. Why don't we tune this up and listen to it? And I'll tell you between now and then if any of these strings break. Or I'll see you back in the laboratory if like the whole thing breaks, right? Hey, that's where we go when things get broken. I'll see you in a second. Until then, and after that, peace be with you. Look after yourself. Take it easy. Peace be with you. Always. Hasta Leo. And there it is. Leo Master. Master Leo. Hey, man. I had this thing tuned to a zenith. And I put it down to go shopping. And I came back. And it was all, the strings got real loose. It was all fucked up. I couldn't get it back in tune. I popped the two little E strings. I was like, oh, I had to replace the strings. Just the E strings, man. This bridge needs to be replaced, really. It's got more slots in it than Atlantic City on New Year's Eve, you know what I mean? Additional slots, you know what I'm saying? It's real fucked up. But it'll do for now. I had to carve a couple additional slots in it because the strings are going all over the place. Probably needs to be a little bit taller. This might need to be a little bit tighter. I'm not Steve Martin here, you know what I mean? Oh, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps you are to me, baby. Oh, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Stand in the place where you land, oh, now. Think about direction, wonder why we haven't now stand. Hey, man, that's why the sound didn't catch on. Plus, it's got this thing that's like, it's like a muter kind of, you know what I mean? It makes it like quieter, mute sounding. If I took this off, it'd be real loud, but it wouldn't look that cool. Plus, that's what I spent the whole time fixing, right? So there it is, man. Leo Master. Not much of a disaster. Banjo Part 1. Strange banjos. We got a real humdinger next week, people. Can't you just ding your Hummer? We'll see you then, people. Hopefully.